over here at WPTP Radio 100.1 FM in the heart of downtown Chattanooga, South Chattanooga, over here in Alton Park, right across from Willa Homes, and you know how we do it over here in the South. I am so excited today because we have a big show lined up for you all. And God, man, I can't contain myself. I can't even contain myself. First, we're going to talk about Miss Tiandra. Oh, see, she told me. See, I'm getting old, y'all. Say it again. Tejha. I told her. She told me her name 10 times today. They got these wonderful names, and it's not Sonia, Tanya, Lisa. You know the names, that common names we were given. They got all these nice fabricated names that people just sound out and they say, yeah, she's a Tejha. Yeah, she looks like a Tejha. The ones that
haven't been said in a song yet.
Right. It's not in a book. It's not in a song, as she said. Yes. So I am excited to have Tejha here today. Man, these young people are just doing it out there. And I'm so proud of them for all the stuff that they're doing in this community and around the world. We really have raised some good kids. You know that?
I agree.
And I tell you, there's some that we worry about. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some we worry about, but we're gonna keep on working on them, okay? But Tejha and V, who's her business partner, are doing some great things in the fashion and arts. And they've got a big show coming up next weekend. And they've stopped by here with little old me to talk about what's going on. So Tejha, thank you for coming to WPTP again. We are so excited to have you here. And I tell you, fashion, do you like what I got on?
I do.
I bought it out the store, but you know, I want you to make me something. Yes, because this girl is bad. I've seen some of her wardrobe, what she's made and put together. She is a fashion queen, designer queen, all that great stuff. So talk to me, Tejha. What's going on?
Well, I'm happy to be alive and well and here. Thank you for having me here. I do want to say the pieces that I have coming next weekend are all new from these two hands.
Oh,
only me working on all of these
real
pieces.
Seamstress in the house.
Yes, and it's crochet.
Oh,
so
crochet.
That's even more work. So there is.
You did it back. You crocheted all that stuff.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So everything you've seen have been from my own hands. My cousins, they do crochet as well, but I would feel like it would be inauthentic if I had them help with only just my name on it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. I hope we got some pieces later on that you can put up. Do you have some things that we can see so the audience can get a little sneak peek view of what you got? Did they send some pieces of her art? Okay. Well, that's okay. We're gonna talk about it. I'm excited about it because you know nowadays people just don't sew. You know, people all that original stuff. Yeah, it's running a store, spend all this money on stuff. Nobody wants to make anything, but thank God for people like Tejha, who is still in the business of making stuff, and we can actually buy your stuff. That's what's great. I'm gonna buy some stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna buy, but I'm gonna look at your stuff.
But you know, with crochet, we can make it to any size. So that's the best thing about it. So I usually do everything towards people's measurements. I won't do a bunch of bulk things because I want the people to feel like it was made for them.
Original stuff.
Yes.
Oh, girl, we're gonna have to push that and promote that. Y'all know when you go in the store and buy this dress, you think it's the bomb. And you buy it, it looks knockout gorgeous, and then you show up for the event and somebody got your dress on. What you do? What do you do? Go home? I'd be like, oh my God, no, she do not have this dress on. I just spent all this money for it. And we looking like Bobsy twins.
You got to stay on the opposite sides of the room.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody notices it. You know what I mean?
Like, and so maybe I got a little cardigan in the car or something.
Right. Let me put a jacket on this and make it different, right? So tell me what got you into the business of designer?
Well, I model, so I knew eventually I was going to want to move on to being behind the scenes and creating what you see on the runway. And I've tried sewing. I do have my sewing machine. It took me 2 years to finally start with it, but crocheting comes easier to me than threading the bobbin and doing all that other kind of stuff. And it's easier to make stuff to a measurement, as I don't have to keep cutting and everything like that.
So you measure people's body and then you custom design it to fit that. Oh my God. So you up here custom designing stuff. You're not using, say, Butler patterns. What's some other pattern out there that you go buy in this cookie cut?
I know it's like if you go to Walmart, was it the Simply and then the Nose
Simply.
Me and stuff like that? Yeah, but no, a lot of it's from my mind. If I search anything, it's going to be to how to get something started. I cannot stick to a pattern. It's so hard for me.
Good. That means you're really a fashion designer. You really are, cut out for this, and you have the skills and the talent. That's what's missing too. A lot of people want to do what you do, but they really aren't gifted enough to do that, and they just
duplicate.
Yes. Now I've seen a few of your pieces before, and it's fascinating. So what's with the you take a piece of fabric here and a piece of fabric here, and you put it together, and you make something really like bam, like this, it was, what was it? It was I don't know. It was really unique.
Because there's one thing on our main flyer that we use that has all the information about the show. There's a sweatshirt that I made, but whenever it's on him, it actually looks more like a hockey jersey because it's drop shoulder. So on Watch Dream, I had so on the front it has his stage name on it, Watch Dream, and on the back it has like a yin yang symbol. On the side it has a 3D rose, and then on the other one it has like Ashe. Yeah, so I put a lot of
Oh my God! Now, how old did you say you were?
I'm just 29.
29, y'all. This girl ain't even she's not even 3 decades yet, and she's already busting the scenes with fashions that she creates herself, and it comes from her mind. And she reminds me of an older lady who she's a seamstress, and she doesn't use patterns either. She just measures, and I mean, she's excellent. And she just measures you. You tell her what you want. You can show her some pictures of dresses or ideas that you would like for your outfit to look like. And just from that, you can tell her the type of fabric that you want. She can put those ideas from you into the fabric that you purchase or that you need for your outfit and make an outstanding outfit. I mean, that nobody else will have. She did my daughter's wedding dress that way. And I mean, this is how it really happened. So, and this is probably happens to you too, or has happened before. So it was during COVID, and everything was closed down, and she had bought this beautiful dress from New York that they were supposed to ship. Nothing was shipping. Everything was closed down. And then her wedding day came, and she didn't have a dress, and they weren't going to get her dress. They weren't even answering calls.
Wow. So it was just like, I don't know what to tell you.
Right. It's like,
but that's a special day. Like, what
special
do you mean?
day. So what do? So you call this person, and you show her what you ordered, and she says, well, we don't have a pattern. So she pulls out her measure. I'm sure this is what you do. You pull out your measuring tape and you start measuring. You know all about that. And then you look at the picture, or in your mind, as you say, and you create it.
Yep.
That's awesome. You bad to the bone. I'm telling y'all better not miss this fashion show, because you're going to see some original things. All of it is original, created by our fashion designer right here. Tell us some more stuff of what we can expect.
There'll also be music performances happening as well from Bendy, Watch Dream, and Chance Majors.
Oh, we get a little concert with it too.
Yes, it's gonna be a few performances. There's even gonna be some dancing happening. It's choreographed by Amaya Collins, so it's gonna be a lot.
All these people local?
They are.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Wow! You know, I always tell people you don't have to go to Atlanta. You don't have to go to New York, Chicago, California. We have the raw talent right here in Chattanooga. We have some of the most talented people, some of the most educated people, and the most gifted people right here in Chattanooga. And the arts is where it is. I'm telling y'all, the arts is where it is. And so I would like to see people do more investment in the art. So tell me how that's been as a young entrepreneur, African-American female. How has it been for you in the market here in Chattanooga versus maybe somewhere else? Is there anything you want to say about that? Good, bad, ugly, whatever.
I will say, well, this show that's happening will be my 4th show in just like a year and 2 weeks. And out of those 4, 3 of them will have been in Chattanooga.
Okay.
Yes.
Good responses, good support.
Yes. It's you have to have the right circle of people around you, because those are going to be the ones that see your talents and push them forward. They're not going to try to cut them out or even try to do what you're doing because they think they can do it better. So yeah.
So and that is something. When you're in the wrong circle, you get bad results.
Yes.
So surround yourself with, number one, positive people, and people who are go-getters like you, and then y'all can feed off of each other.
Yes, and ones that actually support you. Like when you have shows, are they there?
Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. So now tell me about the venue, because people want to know where it is, and they want to know how much the tickets cost and how they can actually purchase the ticket. I want to give a shout out to your partner before we do that.
Yes.
Vanita Rose is your partner with C, or is it Sci? Am I saying it right? CSII. Hey, Vanita.
And she has 15,000 different occupations.
She's just doing the thing. She's a real entrepreneur, trying to make it happen, and she is making it happen.
Yeah, she is.
She is making it happen. So we want to give a shout out to V. Her, I guess you would call that's her name, her show name. And she is doing great things with her organization, C, that's SII. And she is the person who is helping to produce this show. She will be there. And what is her role in this whole? I know you're the designer and it's your clothing. What is Vanita's role in this whole ordeal?
Well, she's mainly just like the production behind it and getting everything together. So she's just making the ends meet and everything like that. She will be making sure that the show runs how it needs to, because we communicate about everything. So there's nothing going on in the show that she doesn't know or I don't know. So we will have like a few people that's working backstage that she will actually tell like the run of the show, so she isn't running around and she can actually enjoy and see what she has produced for a change.
Yes. And it's so important that you have people advocating for you as well. I know you were saying, people that are for you, but the biggest people and your biggest fans are really your family and people you grew up with that you're really close to. And then people in the arts world who are really interested in the arts. Those are people. And so Vanita has a nice circle of people who really support her. So it's great that you all have come together on this production. I've already got my marching orders. I'm buying my tickets. Her support system has told me what I'm gonna do. She asked me. She told me what I was gonna do. So that's the kind of support you need. You need somebody who's advocating for you. And nothing like your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your sister, your brother, your uncles, your aunties, and cousins out there pushing and promoting what you do. And so I'm sure that you have the same thing going on in your family and your circle.
A lot of my family will be out there, and I don't know if my aunts would be listening, but my mom is actually flying in from Las Vegas.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
So that shows how serious it is.
It is. So how much are the tickets, and how can we get those tickets?
The tickets, general admission right now is $45 and VIP is $60, but VIP, like last night, last night we only had 3 of them left.
So what is VIP? Tell the crowd what VIP. She's only got 3 VIP tickets. I better get one of them. I don't even know if I'm gonna be there, but I'm gonna try my best. There's another show going on that's conflicting with the show, but I may have to do both. I gotta go somewhere else and jump over there. So tell me what time it is and what does VIP include?
So the time is going to be from 6 to 9. So from 6 to 7, it'll be like some mingling, and I would do an interview with tea and champagne. And then the show will start around 7:17, 7:18. We're trying to have it happen during golden hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell us what golden hours is, because I'm out.
Because golden hour is when the sun.
That means you golden, like
yes, you will be.
I'm over 50.
No, so it's when the sun is setting and it just hits just right, and everything just has this golden hue over it. Because like with the skin tones and the clothes that's going to be happening, is the pictures are just going to look really, really, really good.
Wow. So do we need to give a shout out to your photography or video crew that's going to be on the scene doing this, so that they get a little bit of plug as well?
Yeah. Our videographer would be Carissa with More Media. She's been doing a lot of stuff here in the city. I know she has something with the Lookouts. And then another photographer we will have there is Darius.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
And then with the VIP, if you partake and and
as they say, what is it called? If you like, is it not cheers? I'm looking for the other word. For when you like to indulge.
Yes, if you like to indulge, you'll have one of those in your gift bag, and then there'll be either free things or discounts to other places that are sponsors, and then you'll have like better seating, of course, than if you were to get like a regular ticket.
Okay, so who are your sponsors? Because we want to give them a shout out because we are, being seen not only all over the city of Chattanooga, but we're being seen worldwide, and people are picking it up all over. Say, in fact, you can call your mom and tell her to go to our website, our radio website, and listen to this video.
And then she's gonna play it to all her coworkers and stuff. I'm like,
yes,
Mama,
stop. Send it to them.
Exactly, Mama.
Share, like and share WPTP show. So, who are some of your supporters or people that have supported and sponsored your event?
So our sponsors are the Choo Choo, where the event's going to be held, Sankofa, Aurelius Auto, Chattanooga Business Elite, and Trilogy Design Group.
Yes. So you all, we want to give a shout out to them for investing in these young people and believing in these young people and helping to make their dreams a reality. Because, it starts with a dream, y'all, but then, you got to wake up. You can't keep dreaming. That means you got to work. So you got to get up out the dream and actually put some work and sweat equity into what you're trying to do. So I want to thank you. Is there anything else you want to say before we end your segment of the show?
It's just a question I've been asking everybody. So my company's called PRiMP, and I just always ask them, is you primping or what?
Oh, okay. All right, y'all heard her. Are you primping or what? So that means, are you messing with her? Are y'all buying? Are you all
I'm going to be watching. I'll make my little rounds during the show as well, so I will see everything.
Okay. All right. So we, you want to see some of her authentic masterpieces of fashion, you must come out on September the 7th. The event starts at 6 o'clock and ends at
9.
And it's going to be at the Chattanooga Choo Choo outside in the gardens at the Choo Choo, which is located at 1400 Market Street. Tickets are available on Eventbrite, and those tickets are going fast. They only have, she just said, 3 more VIP tickets, which includes some treats and some cheers and yeah. So if you like to indulge, or if somebody else like to indulge, you can pass it on to them. We got to see you all there. Is there a cutoff with the number of tickets? Are you all trying to sell?
The only thing would just be the VIP.
The VIPs. Otherwise, y'all, it's free fall. Go over there and get those tickets and support these young local artists. They're doing it in Chattanooga, and it starts at home, y'all. Don't expect people from these other big places. Well, I think we're big too, but don't expect people from around the world to support them when their hometown isn't supporting them. So we want to make sure that you all know that these 2 women, I love it.
Most importantly,
these 2 women are doing the thing. V and Tejha. Oh, I'm gonna get that right one of these days. It's the name, girl. Y'all know y'all got some names for a sister. I'm telling you, Tejha.
And then there was one other sponsor that we have is Crazy Fries. They are establishment down in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
Okay.
So they even have belief in the event as well.
All right. So we are excited about your event, and we look forward to it on next Saturday, correct?
Yes.
And we are very excited. It's going to be a success. It's already a success because she came by WPTP Radio 100.1 FM, and we get the word out. So you all, we have another segment coming up, and y'all, I'm telling y'all, this man right here is some wisdom that you do not want to touch that dial. You all stay tuned because the infamous, I'm telling you, infamous civil rights leader of all time from Chattanooga, Tennessee is in the house. That's Mr. Johnny Holloway, and he is going to bring it to y'all. Y'all better not move. Don't touch that dial because we got some good juice. If y'all are talking about this election that's coming up, and the 2025 agenda or plan, y'all better stay tuned because he got the papers. He got it, y'all. And we're going to be talking about why it's important to understand the 2025 plan as you all go to those polls, and why it's important to take your friends and your family to those polls and get it done. You got to get it done. I'm not telling y'all who to vote for, but you know. So listen to us in the next segment because it's coming live, all the way live from WPTP 100.1 FM radio here in the Alton Park Development Corporation's site at the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside. See you in a minute. All right, we are back here at WPTP Radio, and I'm feeling awfully blessed today, y'all. Ooh, let me get over here next to you. I'm telling you, I want some of that energy and some of that wisdom that's in this room. I'm telling you, with Mr. Johnny Holloway. He is the infamous civil rights leader of all times here in Chattanooga and WPTP Radio. We are honored and we feel really, really special to have you to come by here and share with the people, our audience, all this knowledge. And I'm telling you, I love to talk to him. I just sit there and just start staring because the amount of wisdom that you have and the things that you have experienced, none of us in this day and era, unless they were standing beside you during that time, have ever experienced it. And hopefully we never have to experience it. So without further ado, I want to present to our audience the infamous, famous, hardworking civil rights leader, Mr. Johnny Holloway. Can y'all give him a round of applause? Yes, yes. So, Mr. Johnny Holloway, thank you for coming.
Well, I'm just glad to be here. I've been trying to get on the air for a couple of weeks now, trying to explain something that happened. I'm a senior citizen plus, I vote absentee. And I have been voting absentee for a number of years, but this year was something different. First thing that happened to us in this past election, we were sent the ballot out, but this time we had a little 11 by 3 or 4 inches little note in there for us to call the election commission to ensure that we get a ballot for the November election. And I said, that's strange. I said, we never had to do that before because I'm supposed to be one of those permanent persons on absentee ballot.
Right.
And I didn't have to do nothing but just sit up and wait for my ballot to come in. But this way we had a letter, had this little note that we had to call in to get the letter to qualify to vote. And so I called and they told me, well, I'm a permanent voter and I didn't have to do that. I said, well, why did they send me the note? This note was on a little 11 by 3 or 4 inch little sheet. And it had said, you have to call, and it's red. It was red. I don't know whether different colors or not, but I got a red one. And it says you had to call the election commission to get your ballot for the November election, for the next election. So I did call. Then they tell me I didn't have to call because I was a permanent voter.
Fishy, just fishy.
So that gives the option of whether somebody want to send me the ballot or not send me the ballot based on whether I did send the call in or not. So that was something that's very strange to me. I was talking to people at the election commission. I said, when did this start? She said, well, I don't know. It came down from the Nashville. Well, there's nothing good come down from Nashville. Black people,
y'all already know we in Tennessee. We gonna keep it real today. We are in Tennessee, and so you know
nothing good come out of Nashville for Black people. So I began to look at it further, and then when I got my little permission letter for the next election, it began to read like it asked me for my social security number that they already had. It asked me for my birthday that I already had. It asked if you had an email, and you had to, and if you did, you just kind of check off over there whether it was correct or not. And if you didn't have email, you said not applicable or something like that. But anyway, the problem with all that information is that you have senior citizens like me, and
why burden the seniors? Why burden?
Well,
y'all?
That's what I'm getting to.
Come on, talk to me.
And so many senior citizens not going to pay much attention to a little bit of sheet of paper, little slip of paper they send you, and they probably won't call because they've been getting it for each year. So they think it's going to happen the same year. So we got to tell the senior citizen, call in and ask for your ballot for the November election. Please call in the election commission. And I had the number somewhere. Let's see, they have them down here. I don't have.
Here's a 209 number. Is that the number you're talking about for questions?
Yeah, that's the number.
So what's that number?
Okay, the questions called, if you want to call the election commission, you call 209-8683. And you will be able to get somebody to the election commission, and you can ask them to send you your information to get your ballot for November. You got to call.
Wow.
Well,
Seniors are, if you're 60 or older and you vote absentee. So, and I guess they consider 60 and older.
Yeah, well, you can vote absentee 60 or older if you're handicapped.
Okay, if you're handicapped and you've been voting absentee all these years, or if you're 60 and older, you're considered a senior.
But you got to remember, they've been sending you the ballot anyway. You didn't have to call in. You didn't have to ask for you didn't have to ask for this letter that they sent me. You didn't have to do anything. But now you got to call. If you don't call, they can use the option to send you the ballot. If you're permanent, they say you don't have to call. So you.
Well, how you know you're permanent? Who's permanent? Who's not? How do you?
I don't know
if you're permanent or not.
Only way I know I was permanent, I called and they told me I was permanent.
But before that, you didn't know you were permanent. Know. So what makes you permanent?
I don't know.
So we don't know the criteria that determines
whether or not a person is permanent. Just call.
And that number is 423-209-8683. 423-209-VOTE. That is the number.
That's right. And so this is very important because they have all kind of confusion things going on all across the nation now, because Trump said you don't really have to vote for me to win. Now, I don't know what he means by that, but you have all these kind of things going on with.
Well, this is a form of voter suppression.
Well, it is. It can be. That the lady at the election commission said it can be. Because if you get a person at the election commission who want to play this game with you,
and they will,
they can play the game with you and get away with it.
Yes.
If you don't call and get this letter that I have right now that tells you that you will receive your ballot for the November election, that's very important. So please call and get your ballot and turn it in as soon as possible.
Yes, and for those who are listening and you have friends that vote absentee, please let them know. And you can like and share this session of WPTP, What's Happening in Your Neck of the Woods, with everybody. Just click that button, share with all your friends, because the more people know what's going on with this absentee ballot situation right here in Hamilton County, Lord knows across the state it's happening, the more people we can get the information to make sure they can vote. Because if you miss that opportunity and your ballot don't come in a certain length of time, you're not going to get the vote.
That's right. Your ballot have to be in by a certain length of time before it will be counted.
So tell us, what is the deadline for them supposedly to get your ballot to you? And then when is your deadline to actually mail it back in to get it back to them? Is there a deadline?
The deadline is no later than 10/29/24.
Y'all, that's just next month.
10/29/24.
Tomorrow is September the 1st.
That's right.
So that means that your ballot, your application have to be received no later than October the 29th. That's just next month.
Right. And this is for the 11/5/24 election.
The big one. I call it the big E. The big E is November the 5th.
And don't get confused by what you saw on television doing this.
Tell us, straighten us out.
Don't get confused by what you saw on television about the Democratic convention. It looked like rah-rah and all that good and everybody's on your side. Don't you believe that? This is going to be a very close election.
Talk to us.
And Trump can still win this thing. And everybody got to get out and work.
Yes, they did say don't take none of this for granted.
Don't take anything for granted. Get out and work. Talk to everybody you can. Make sure everybody in your family vote that's eligible to vote. I got a niece in Texas just turned 18. I mean, I got a granddaughter in Texas just turned 18. I called her on her birthday and told her, you are able to vote now, so get ready.
Right, go down there and get ready. And by the way, if you're going to be 18 by November the 5th and you're still 17, But on the election day, you're going to be 18. You can register right now. If your birthday is between now and before November the 5th, they will allow you to register to vote if you will be 18 by that day. I don't know what's going on here with this little bad.
Well, anyway,
around.
that's what I want to deal with the voter suppression concept that's going on now here in Chattanooga, and it's coming out of Nashville. And whether you are a permanent absentee voter or not, you send for the letter. You send that little piece of paper that asks you to call in and ask them to send you your letter so you can vote in the November election. It's very important that you do that. People cannot play games with you if you got your paperwork. And you need to keep your paperwork. Don't lose your paperwork so you can prove that you asked for the ballot. If you didn't get it, then you have the proof that you did ask for it.
Right. And some of our seniors and people who are disabled, they have challenges, and these kinds of things confuse people. So if you know you have a disabled family member, or you have a senior in your family, your mom, uncle, or somebody close to you, and they vote absentee, make it your priority and make it your business to see about them and make sure that they have their ballot and that this piece of paper that they've sent in the mail, they haven't overlooked it. Because sometimes people open it up and they just, throw it in the garbage, don't really understand what it is that they're sending. They're hoping that seniors can't read and write, don't have an advocate, and don't understand what this means. But this is crucial to this election. So we have to make sure we are taking care of one another.
Right. And the number to call at the election, at the Hamilton County Election Commission, is 423-209-8683. That's the number to call, and you need to call that and get your letter if you're absentee ballot. So if you're absentee voter, so they'll send you the ballot for the November election. That's very important that you call that number and ask for your letter. They got to send you the letter first for you to verify your social security number, your birthday, and whether you have email or not.
And some seniors may be afraid that this is some type of scam. That's the other thing. With so much going on with folks trying to scam our elderly population and people who are disabled, sometimes, because it's got, I'm looking at the letter that you got here. It has his social security number all the way, not the last 4 digits, all of the digits. Yeah. Every digit is on here. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All 9 of his numbers of his social security is on this piece of paperwork, along with his date of birth. That's dangerous. That may go to the wrong house.
That's right.
Somebody else. I can't believe they put every digit on here with your birthday. So that may make a person think that it's some type of scam going on as well. And they may toss it in the garbage. You see what I'm saying? Because I would. Who's got my social security number floating around with my birthday? The whole birthday.
I get my neighbor's mail all the time in my mailbox.
See?
So you have to be very careful about that. Then next thing you're supposed to do is sign it. You got to be sure sign it and date it. That's very important.
Wow.
Because if you don't sign it, you're disqualified.
Right.
Right there. They can say you're disqualified.
I'm going to hold this up. If you can show up, we're going to hold. This is what the letter looks like.
Let's try this one.
Okay. This is what the letter looks like, y'all, that comes in the mail. I don't know if you can zoom in or not, but this is what the letter looks like. And it's very crucial that you all pay attention to this letter. Now, the outside of the envelope is coming from the Election Commission, and it says Hamilton County Election Commission, 700 River Terminal Road, and it looks like this. Okay, and so look for this letter. But more importantly, if you haven't got the letter yet, just go ahead and call them and let them know you understand that there's some paperwork that you have to fill out and confirm in order for you to get your ballot. Y'all need to spread this. You know how you get on the phone and gossip about everything else? We need to be gossiping about getting your ballot so you can vote this year if you vote by mail, absentee ballot. And that number again is area code 423-209-8683. Again, 423-209-VOTE. And make sure that you are passing this information on to everybody you know. Get on the phone and gossip about it. Y'all know they're trying to suppress our votes, maybe. Something to that effect, because now we're having to do something extra to get our absentee ballot. And if you haven't got your letter or you don't understand the letter, no problem. Pick up that phone and call the election commission and make them explain to you what you got to do. And I know there's a lot of voter organizations out there, the Women Voters League, and there's a whole lot of nonprofits out there that are working hard to make sure people are registered to vote and that they get to the polls. So go ahead with what else you wanted to talk about.
Well, we want to talk about the 2025 plan for the Republican Party.
Oh, y'all, the 2025 plan.
This is their plan for the future, not just for the next election, but the future. Whether they get elected in November or not, this is their plan for us in the future.
Okay, now when you say their plan, we're gonna go because we got to be transparent here on WPTP. And if it was something the Democrats was doing wrong, we would bring it to the radio station and talk about it. So this is a nonpartisan depiction of what is going on in our country and what plan is trying to be pushed and have started already with some of the things that have already been legislated out of this plan.
Well, this plan started with the Supreme Court judges.
Talk to us about that.
That's part of the plan too.
Okay, tell us about that.
That's already been put in play.
That was in this book.
That's part of the plan. I don't know what's in this book or not. I haven't read the whole thing, but I do have a copy of the 988 pages of this plan, but I haven't been able to read all of it yet.
Okay. All right.
And I have then, and I'm gonna have it bound, and I'm gonna bring it over here and give it to you for the library.
Okay, we got it. We're gonna have it in the library. Our civil rights activist has got the 2025 plan. He's gonna have it bounded and put on file here at our African American Historical Museum.
Yes, we're gonna do that and make a contribution to the museum. So everybody who want to come by and see it sometime in the future, you can talk about it in some permanent place, public, that you can look at it and see it for yourself. Now, I tried to pick out of that whole volume of things, the things that I thought was interesting. Education has always been interesting to me, and I believe is the key to progress.
Okay.
If you're gonna move above in this society from where you are now, you got to be educated.
Okay.
So the first thing I looked at the education plan and said, first thing they want to do with the education plan is they want to demolish the whole Department of Education if they can. Okay. Now you know it's gonna be hard because people be suing them and it's got to go through legislation. So if they can't abolish the Department of Education, they're gonna try to do it by piecemeal. And the things in that plan, what they're gonna do, they're gonna go back all the way to the Johnson administration, and all of the civil rights legislation that referred to education under this plan will gradually be eliminated. It doesn't count anymore.
So the laws that are on the book, they're gonna undo them.
They're gonna try to undo them.
So you're saying, like, okay, let me back up, because y'all got to understand the significance of what he is saying. Like, you all never thought Roe versus Wade would be reversed when it came to a woman's right to choose.
Right.
And the Supreme Court justices that were appointed by the former president of the United States, Trump, appointed some of the most conservative, three of them, judge. And this is a lifetime appointment. It has no term limit on the Supreme Court justices role in our country. And he has elected or appointed three of the most conservative Republican Supreme Court justices on that court. And they are the ones that have the power to overturn and overthrow these laws. So now you were talking about going all the way back to Lyndon B. Johnson when he was the president of the United States in regard to education and some of the other laws that were established during the civil rights movement. Tell us how they're going to be, because you done read this section good. I have not read it. I'm waiting to get my hands on the book. But tell us about this education piece and how they're going to do it with the Supreme Court justices. How does that work?
The first thing they're going to do is, if they can't just eliminate the Department of Education altogether, they're going to do it piecemeal. They're going to go back to the Johnson administration and try to remove all the legislation that Johnson passed during the civil rights era that pertained to education and eliminate that.
Just eliminate it.
One by one, or a whole group of them in any way they can. If they have the Congress and the Senate right, they'll do it.
Yes.
All right. And that's what they're going to try to do. And then after they get through with that, they're going to try to extend the voucher system greater than ever been extended before. You know, you have the voucher system now where people can get money from the Department of Education that goes to public schools.
Yes.
And they're going to set it up where you can get some money from the Department of Education. They call it the vouchers, and you can go to any school you want to go to. Now, the old private schools where all the white people, all the rich white people just go, they're going to be able to get that money too. So they go.
And the less than 1% minority rich folk.
That's right.
Less than 1.
And they're going to get the vouchers the same way everybody else gets the vouchers. And then to keep the middle class people and the upper middle class people from overwhelming their schools, they're going to increase the tuition too. They're going to get the vouchers and also increase tuition. So the increase of tuition for the rich people not going to be anything.
They can still afford it, but they won't be paying the same amount.
That's right. They be paying less
as if they did not have a voucher.
But
so it's going to be like a coupon for them, in other words.
But yes, and it's going to be more too. For middle class people, it will be more money. So there will not be an influx of middle class people going to these old white schools, private schools for rich people. That's it. And then you're gonna have the voucher system that goes to these
charter schools.
Go to these charter schools.
They already started that.
And these charter schools, you're gonna see an influx of charter schools.
We're already seeing that.
And
people.
all the money.
Wake up.
And all the money is coming from the public education. That means the public education schools not going to get they're not getting enough money to start with. Now they're going to get a lot less money.
Yes, we're already seeing the results of that.
That's right.
Today.
It's already happening, but it's going to happen. It's going to be double It's going to be double more than what's happening now. And charter schools is going to jump up all over the place.
Woo, y'all, this gives me a headache, y'all. I'm telling y'all, we put out one fire, and then 5 more fires start. So you cannot go to sleep right now. This is not time for our young people to go to sleep. It's not time for our young people to be fighting one another right now. We got a lot of stuff that we need to be fighting, and it's not each other. We talking about your future, and I'm not even talking about just black folks. I'm talking about it's po folks in every culture and every race. So if you think they're gonna come for black folks and you're not gonna get knocked out, if you're not one of them, they say the billionaire industry, those folks that's got tons of money, and I don't mind paying my fair share, but there are some people that don't want to pay their fair share.
I pay more taxes than Trump.
Okay, yeah, you know what? He is telling the truth, because there are all kind of I call them tax shelters for the wealthy, that at the end of the day, they make millions and billions of dollars, but those tax shelters protect them from having to pay hardly any, if any, taxes at all. So you're absolutely right. The middle class is holding up the bloodstained banner for everybody, holding it up for the poorest folks, and they're holding it up for the wealthy folks.
Now, let me think about another one that's going to take place. Labor is very important, what they plan on doing to labor. And this is just my kind of going through it as quick as I could. But the labor department, now the first thing you got to deal with labor under this plan is they're going to deport a lot of people. if this plan is carried out, if the 2020 plan, 2025 plan is carried out, they're gonna deport a lot of people. So that's gonna deplete our labor force because Hispanic people do the work that makes our economy run.
Yes.
They fix the potholes. They pick our fruit. They pick our vegetables. Somebody else got to pick that. So this brings in how they gonna replace that labor force? Well, it's very simple. That's where you have this abortion plan come in.
Talk to us. How does that have something
They're gonna
to do
grow.
with the
They're gonna grow their own labor force by having women have more babies.
Come on now, that in that plan.
They're gonna change the child labor laws. They're gonna disband the child labor laws. Yes, they're gonna change it.
Oh,
And they're gonna have children. All the work that the labor movement did, that we just same thing they did with education. All the work that the labor union did to get the 40-hour work week and paid leave, sick leave, and all,
right.
All this gonna be canceled if they can. And they're gonna have children doing jobs again.
Working in mines. Y'all remember them kids was working in mines?
Yes, this is true.
Coal mines and
they're gonna have children.
Industrial things.
They're gonna have all the poor children working in place of all the people they deported.
Okay, my mic is going out. Okay, so we're gonna have to share the mic. Okay, I can share.
So that's the way that's going on.
Wow.
And that's part of the plan. And then if you deport all these people that you call immigrants or whatever they call them, are coming across the border,
right?
Then you got to have somebody to replace them, and they gonna what you call homegrown labor.
Homegrown. So women, listen, because I'm a woman. We are now gonna be the incubator.
That's what I'm talking about. You can say it better than I can.
The incubator. For all of the labor force, we got to start having some babies. So in order for us to have all these babies, I don't know, I can't even get this in here good. Huh? Oh, the bottom. Okay. See, yeah, I knew my engineers got it going on. Okay, that's it. We as women have got to you help me out? Okay, all the way down there. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm talking. See, this is an engineer by trade, too, sitting to my left. But the women have to stop having abortions so they can have babies, so they can incubate more children to replenish the workforce from all the Hispanic and other cultures that are being deported. So now we got a job. We're going back to having babies, and you ain't gonna be able to kill them. That's what they say we do. They say we killing them, you know.
No,
that's what they say. That's what they say. You're not gonna be able to have an abortion. No, if you're raped, it don't matter. You're gonna have to sweat and swallow it and go on and have the baby. If you're 12 years old, you was raped, so what?
Incest.
It don't matter. Your job will become to have or to replenish the earth with more babies. That's all we good for now, huh? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
This 2025 plan is saying that's all women are good for is for having babies. Lord have mercy.
Well, women are more, it's more than that in the plan, but anyway, you have to read the whole thing, and it's very hard to read the whole thing in a short period of time because it's so long. But just to capture some of the things that they plan on doing is that they're gonna give a tax cut to the rich. That means upper middle class and middle class people and poor people gonna pay for that tax cut. That's just automatic. That's the way it happens. Then they're gonna have the civil service.
Oh Lord, here you go. Oh Lord, don't mess with these military folks.
Now I worked at TVA. Now a lot of people at TVA don't think the TVA is a government agency, but you watch what Trump do to TVA if he gets his hands on it.
Ooh, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that.
But what he want to do with civil service, he want to just disband the civil service. All them thousands and hundred thousands of workers.
Well, what you gonna replace them with? What you
gonna replace them with? Loyalists.
With who?
Loyalists. People who are loyal to Donald Trump or whoever the Republican president is at the time.
I don't even think they thought this out.
They thought it out, but it's not gonna be easily implemented. I know that, because there's gonna be some setbacks. And when you start working with the civil service, you got to understand a lot of veterans work in the civil service.
You got that right. They work at the post office and all these government.
I'm gonna tell you something about veterans. I'm one of them. We don't like nobody mess with our benefits.
You got that right. You got that right.
And they gonna start cutting government benefits, GI benefits, and you go see. And have you seen something? You just wait.
Oh my!
If they try that, you gonna see something.
And you know what? They got these loose gun laws now. You know, they think it's a joke.
But I'm serious. I'm serious now. I'm saying we start. You think about the postal workers, and you start messing with their benefits and cutting their salary.
You start messing with some single mamas raising their kids by themselves, and start messing with their benefits and see what happens. You know,
it's gonna be some hell to play.
They ain't wrapped tight either when it comes to their benefits. I'm telling you now. So you all, this is a serious matter, because I hear so many young people saying my vote don't count. They gonna put in their office who they want to put in, and so I ain't into politics. You better be into some politics. You better be into some politics, because right now your life and your livelihood and your future is depending on your vote. And I'm so glad that people like Mr. Holloway and my parents, they marched the march. They fought the fight. They lost the blood. They lost their life. They went to jail. They did everything. They got ate and beat up and everything else, knocked in the head, dogs biting them and everything else, hung on trees. All that stuff they did for us. All the stuff they did for us. Ran away through the Underground Railroad, risking their life and everything. Beat down. Just totally beat down. You know, and that was the sacrifice and the payment for freedom. And for our generation and younger generations to sit around and talk about they don't want to get involved politically. See, you're spoiled. You're spoiled. That's what your problem is. I'm going to say it. You're spoiled. You have not had to fight one day for your freedom. You were born with your freedom. You didn't have to go through Jim Crow. You didn't have to be told you couldn't drink out of that water fountain, or you couldn't go to that school, or you couldn't go to this university because of the color of your skin. I have felt some of that in my age group. Not as bad as Mr. Holloway. Thank the Lord. I thank you for all your sacrifices. But I've experienced some of that on the tail end of it. My age group was in the age group where they started busing. They forced the kids to start the schools to start integrating finally.
Let me say something here about history. One mistake we made after the Civil War. We made a lot of mistakes, but one big mistake. We never had a reconciliation between the two warring parties. Most people don't know what war we fought in America that caused more American lives. It was a Civil War because you had American dying on both sides.
I'm gonna get him.
Okay.
I'm sorry, he on your head there. Yeah.
That's what we don't, and we didn't reconcile like they did in South Africa. We didn't have a Bishop Tutu.
I remember Bishop Tutu.
Okay. We did not have a Bishop Tutu who calls for reconciliation between the two warring sides. And they didn't get it all right, but they tried.
They tried.
Anyway, and we didn't even try. So what happened was that after the Civil War and they withdrew the troops from the South, we tried to go back to slavery as close as we could get. And that was something.
Explain that when you say we. Who is we?
I'm just talking about America, the American government, the American government, American citizens.
Slavery and the slavery.
As close as we can get. And that was called tenant farmers. My daddy was a sharecropper.
Sharecropper.
And so that's the closest thing you get back to slavery was sharecropping. The next closest thing was something called a patronage system. You might not know what the patronage system is.
I know. Can you explain that?
Well, if a white person accused you of owing him some money, he could stop you, and the courts were so rigged, it was a kangaroo court all over the South. He could take you to court. A white man could take a black person to court and declare he owed him some money, and he didn't even know it. Didn't have nothing to do with him. The man didn't know him, no money at all. He could just say, and the kangaroo court would just carry that through and say, you have to work for him to pay him off the money you owe him.
Getting free labor.
Free labor.
Getting free labor. Lord,
and then the big corporations would go to the jails where they arrest a lot of people on false pretenses and everything, black people. And then they would pay the jails, pay to have the prison to come and work for them free. Come work for them for little or nothing. It's all in the minds at the time. That's a patronage system. That's what you call a patronage system. And we went back to the patronage system, sharecropping. That's as close to slavery.
What years can you give, so we can have a perspective? Because we're in 2024. Some people's kids are born in the 20s and in the late 1990s. What time was that? This
was in the early 1900s.
Early 1900s.
Right after slavery. Late 1918, late 18 to the early 1900s.
Okay.
That's the time we're talking about. And the government, and I can't think of the president's name, but one president, I can't think of his name at this time, but he tried to look at the patronage system in the South, and he said it was so ingrained that if he tried to change that system, he would mess up the whole economy of the South. So he left it alone.
Wow.
That's how ingrained that system was. And
all
I gotta say is do like all other kids. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it.
Google it.
Google the patronage system and see what it says.
Spell patronage system so they'll know how to spell it when they Google it. Okay. Well, we know that system was working good for those who call themselves supreme.
Yeah.
And it was designed in the beginning when we were brought over here. We were the only race of people that were forced to come over to America. Anyway, everybody else swimming and dying to get over here. But it was designed to help the economy of this country and to grow this economy. And we did. Except for it was such cruelty that there was some folk who couldn't look at it.
Well,
and I like what you said one time to me, and some other folk that's wise and have the wisdom that you have, and the fault that you fight. They fought. Whenever there's a war going on, and I love this analogy, it's never black folks against white folk. It's never black folks against white folks, y'all. I'm gonna tell you what he meant by that. I had to think about what you said. You're so deep. It's always white people against white people, and black people are always that extra number of people working with the good white people to help win it. So it's black and whites against white.
Well, that's the way it used to be, but now we're at the point that white women have been the backbone of the Democratic Party.
Yes.
Black women have been. But if America gonna be saved this time, it's gonna have to be white women to save it.
That's it.
No doubt about it. Now, black women gonna show the way, because they showing the way now when they see what they're doing with the Vice President of the United States.
Yes.
You can see how they showing you how to do it. But because of the number of white women are the largest population in America. And as black women show them example, they can do it bigger.
Yes.
And this time they're going to do it bigger to save America.
Okay, y'all.
And if we're going to save this democracy, if you believe in democracy and you want to save democracy, you got to support women, black men all men got to support democracy. If you got a sister, if you got a mother, and you know all of them got mothers, a niece. If you have a wife, if you have any woman that you care something about, you got to support them during this time. And the only way to support them is to back them with this abortion thing. You just men got to get out and support them. That's just the only way it can really go over like it should. Men got to do that job too.
Well, without disclosing who I'm for, because we're on the radio, but I like the analogy of, can you show me one piece of legislation anywhere in this country, any law that dictates what a man can do with his reproduction system? Anywhere. Is it any law that say you can't do this or you can't do that with your reproductive organ?
They don't make laws against men.
Exactly.
Because
so
because men primarily makes the laws.
Women, we have come a long way from not being able to vote. That goes for white women too. So from not being able to vote, from not being able to get paid the same amount for doing the same job that men have been paid for.
White
men. We have come a long way in this journey for us to go back. So from the perspective of a woman, I will say that I will take my point of privilege right here. From the perspective of a woman, it is a privilege to have your rights and all of your rights in this day and time in America from what we come from. It is a privilege and an honor and a right. I'm going to say a right to be able to apply for college and get accepted when you were once told you could not attend college, especially to be a doctor. And I'm going to do that point of privilege right now. It was once upon a time where women, not only black women, just women, could not be a dentist in this country.
Oh, you talking about that? Women couldn't even have a credit card without the approval of their husband if you want to go back far enough.
So we're not going back. I like that slogan. We're not going back. And for those who want to take it backwards, hopefully on November the 5th, enough of us will show up at those polls and not just vote down the line for the person that you want to vote for, but that when you vote down the line, you will make a difference not only in your president, but also in your state senator, your United States senator and congressperson. He'll be right back. But you will take that opportunity to voice your opinion about how you feel about all of them. If they go back and look at how your current representatives have voted over the past 4 years on all your pieces of legislation. And if they voted against the things that represent what you stand for, that's your opportunity to let your voice be heard and change that person out. I believe in accountability. So don't wait for people to tell you anything. Google it. Google it. We're in the day and time and era where everything is now available for us to find out online on the website. And make sure that site is credible, because some sites are not credible. But we are going to do everything we can to educate you. And once we educate you and you go in that booth, your life at that point is in your hand, not in my hand. Not in the folks that have educated you. Your life is always in your hand and in God's hand. Number one. So we want you all to, one, stop saying my vote don't count, because I'm going to block you. If you're saying your vote don't count and you don't want to vote, I'm just going to block you till after November the 5th. Because that has to be one of the most idiotic things a person can say. when we've come this far in this country with the democratic process that we have that allow us to vote and pick and choose which way we want to go, for you to say your vote don't count. So I guess people died in vain for you to be able to vote. That's what you're saying. My mama, my daddy, my grandmama, my great grandmama, my great granddaddy, they just died in vain. They struggled and it wasn't no good. They didn't have to struggle because we was going to get here anyway. You thought you was going to get here anyway? And nobody's died and shed blood for you. You think you would be free today? How so? If a war didn't break out and folks lost their lives, for you to have this day an opportunity of freedom, why wouldn't your vote not count?
Let me say something else about the 2025 plan. Everybody paying Social Security. And a lot of people have Medicare.
Yes.
Now, as we know it today, the 2025 plan carried out sometime in the future, if it ever get carried out, we'll reduce that or eliminate it as we know it today. Now, if you as old as I am, you have been paying the Social Security for ages. And Social Security is very important for your retirement, to supplement your retirement.
Yes.
To kind of make it a livable wage.
Yes.
If you're retired, if you're an average worker and you retire and you get your retirement, if you don't have something to supplement that, which is Social Security, you probably not having a livable wage to retire. So they want to eliminate that as much as they can. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot of things in that whole thing. Is, for instance, paroling the people who rioted on January the 6th at the Capitol. He wants to parole all those people that's gone through the court, had a jury of its peers, and been convicted and sentenced. He want to pardon all those crooks.
Let's be specific. He is former President Donald Trump.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump want to pardon all those crooks. And he probably will too, because he got to have his troops on the ground, and that's them, the prisoners, them. They all dictators do that. 5 minutes left. All troops do that.
What do you think about?
All dictators do that.
Now, you know, we've been really focusing on this 2025 plan, and I'm loving it because we need to have a class on this. So we need to find some folk that can teach this class so that people understand it, because it's serious, y'all. We don't have to worry about if Donald Trump get elected or not, or if Kamala get elected or not. It doesn't matter. This plan is being worked because we got 3 Supreme Court judges that are the most extreme conservative judges of all time, making decisions and rolling the time clocks backwards with all the laws that have moved us forward right now. So it's important that we understand what's happening right now, even before he's elected or not elected, even before Kamala's elected or not elected. Things are going backwards now, according to this plan. So you need to know what the plan is so that we can fight. We can fight. And I think we have enough folk, some folk, that know what's going on and are fighting it. You take Georgia. Now, I live in Georgia, and lawsuits are flying left and right because the election commission in Georgia, who are Donald Trump's friends, some of the most conservative, radical people on that election commission, have decided that if some votes come in and it don't look right, or decide that they will not certify the election results. Now, you know, they say They was trying to steal the election when Biden was running. So if you can't steal the election, let's just change the rules and give us some authority over these ballots as they come in to decide whether or not we want to take them and certify them or not. So lawsuits are flying everywhere because it's immoral and unethical. And the governor of Georgia, Governor Kemp, has asked the Attorney General of Georgia to step in and give him the authority to fire all of them on the Election Commission board. So we're waiting to hear from that. Lawsuits have already been filed on what they've done thus far, which is unethical and immoral and damn right unlawful. So I'm hopeful, but I'm not. Hey, but I'm not stupid.
Okay, that means you're gonna work hard.
Gotta work hard, y'all. And like he said, this is a dead heat. It's almost 50-50. It's not like Kamala has it in the bag or Donald Trump has it, but you better believe if you decide you're going to stay your butt at home and not get out the bed and go vote, yes, Donald Trump will be your next president. I'm going to say it right here. So if you don't want him to be your president, staying at home, you're giving him the authority to be your president. I'm not saying who I'm voting for, but you know probably who I'm voting for, but I ain't telling you nothing. Google that. Google that. And but now you got to tell us more. I'm thirsty.
Well, you have some taxes. Well, it's common knowledge that the Republicans basically tried to deal with the trickle-down theory. They're still trying to sell that theory to us. Never worked. And that simply means you give tax cuts to the rich. And if you do that, then the rich people will spend enough money to trickle down to the poor and all that. It never gets down to us. It always evaporates somewhere at the top of the middle class.
They start putting it in their pocket instead of them investing those tax breaks.
So that tax breaks to the rich don't work.
They stuck it in their pocket.
They do other things with it to make more money, but they never get down to the middle class or the poor people. That's just crazy. And that's one they're gonna do. And then we have to deal with the separation of families at the border. That's another one that they tried that once and it blew up in their face. And they separate children, and I don't think they ever really found the parents of all the children they separated yet. I don't think that's done yet.
So indecent.
And then guns in school is another one that you have to watch in this 2025 plan. They want to place guns in the hands of teachers.
They already done that. The plan, I like when you said that. This plan is already going on, y'all, as we sitting here talking about it.
Yeah.
They've already given teachers permission in some states to have guns.
That's right.
Already. So you acting like the 2025 plan is going to happen in 2025. Baby, it's 2024, and these things are already happening. We sitting there dreaming, sleeping. Wake up. It's already happening to us.
And all the people that believes like the American Indian believe in the environment. Those policies will be dismantled. All the environment policies you see now, that we don't have enough environment policy as it is to protect the planet as it should be. And they're going to dismantle what we have got, and so they can just do what they want with the natural resources of the planet. And that's not good for the planet, not us as human beings. But that's one of the things they will try to do is dismantle all the laws that government's environment and just do as they will with the resources of the planet. And I always say that that as they do that, they will be looking for new places to go, so they're gonna have colonized the moon.
That's right. They already going to the moon, y'all.
They're gonna colonize the moon and mess it up. but that's all right.
Figure out how to breathe up there, how to walk around.
Yeah.
Yes, how to grow. Didn't they grow a plant? Did they say a plant grew up there?
I think they tried to grow some plants. I don't know how successful they were.
Yeah, I think they said we got life. There's a plant. It's growing. It's oxygen.
So they can have farms up there.
Right, because plants have to have oxygen, so they always going with the mask and the oxygen tanks when they're on the moon, as if there's no oxygen. Woo! Lord have mercy, y'all. I'm telling you, this is hard work. This is hard work. I think it's appropriate during this time and era to let you all know or make this announcement that we will be establishing a National Action Network chapter here in Chattanooga. And the National Action Network chapter is that of the founder, Al Sharpton. And we will be coming to you with more information as we gather the folk that will be implementing it. In fact, they'll be coming this weekend to meet with me on this holiday weekend to share. I've got the kit from the national organization and all the responsibilities of what we have to do to have an official chapter. They've already established the word. They're establishing them all across the Tennessee, state of Tennessee. They've got one in Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, Nashville, Knoxville, and they've asked me to help them coordinate forming a chapter here in Chattanooga, and I have accepted that.
I think that's a very good thing to happen. Al Sharpton was trained by Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
And we had Operation Push at the time that I remember seeing. I remember meeting Al Sharpton at some of the Push conventions.
Yes.
And at the time he was learning from Jesse Jackson. And so I think it's only natural that we had a Push chapter here for about 10 years. Yes. I think it's only natural we follow up with the
National Action Network.
National Action Network.
And we already have over 100 people that have already stated that they want their membership. The membership is $25 annual membership, and you'll be surprised that there are just as many folk Black as it is white, because this is a nonpartisan, nonprofit 501c3 organization that seeks justice and that seeks to abolish hate crimes across this country, which is something that everyone should be seeking for in this country. So we invite everybody to join, and we will be definitely, I've got a few attorneys and people, law enforcement, that want to also be an active participant in the National Action Network. In order to make it work, you want to have people from all around involved. In order for us to have a good relationship with our law enforcement agencies need to be involved. That means they need to be members too. And our judges that deliver the sentencing and that kind of thing, our elected officials, they all need to be a part of it, because when something go down in your town, you don't want to be on one side and the folks who are there to help you are not involved. You want to have them involved from the ground up so that they understand what the journey is and what the role is of National Action Network, because they're involved with it. So we will be getting information out, sending things out. We'll be doing media press releases and those kinds of things, and having a grand introduction here in Chattanooga for those to join, and workshops for people to learn about the National Action Network. And initially I said no, I wouldn't I wouldn't be involved at that level. But then I got a very important phone call from a very important person who I respect. I respect my elders, especially those who are involved in civil rights movements. I won't call names right now on the air, but they asked me to do it for the good of the people. Do it for the good of the people. And I said, out of my respect, and we always trying to do it for the good of the people, I will accept and I will help. So that was my answer. Because
Well,
at first I said no. No.
well, you did you did the same thing I did when Jesse Jackson asked me to. When the ministers asked me and they said to be the organizer for Operation Push, I said no.
Right.
And I had my arguments why I shouldn't. We went across the state with Reverend Jesse Jackson, just doing one of his campaigns across state Tennessee. And we discussed, if you want to say that like that, whether we should have a push chapter in Chattanooga or not. And Jesse Jackson won the argument. I just put it that way.
And out of respect for him and out of his ability to tell you why you needed to be and why you were the person to do it, it touched your heart in such a way that you felt like it was not only an obligation, but a moral obligation to call for justice to be involved.
Well, that's part of it, but that wasn't all of
it. Well, you tell me about that off air. But I'm sure that there was something that compelled you to move in that direction.
I would say here and now that I don't know what I can do at my age, but I'll let you have $25, so I'll be one.
Right. So for all of those who are eager to be a part, because you can sit on the sideline and not do nothing. You can always, watch the big dogs, in the parade and sit on the porch and complain and bark, but never do nothing. Or you can get your hands a little bit dirty. And for those who can't, because I tell people all the time, sometimes you can't go to jail because of the nature of what you do for a living, but you can support it. You can give your money to it, and you can support the events that they have. But you may not be the one on the battlefield fighting and doing riots and that kind of thing when things break out, that you have to be there. Everybody has a role, and that may not be your role. Your role may be an attorney to get us out of jail. Who knows?
Well, we've done part of that too.
Yes. Bless you. So, it's always a role for everybody. Find out where you fit in, and that's where you need to be. And do that part. Stay in your lane, and don't let anybody talk about you when you in your lane, when it's for the common good of mankind. And so that's where we stand with that. Okay, we are out of time. I have been told this has been fun. And we will have
keep that.
Yeah, we will have our civil rights activist of all time back on again, because he's so powerful. The words and the wisdom, the knowledge, and the things that he has seen that I will never see. Thank God I'll never see what you've been through. Thank God I don't have to worry about dogs being turned loose on me, or water hoses, or, being knocked upside the head, all those kind of things. Well, we might get knocked upside the head. I don't know the way things are going, but I thank God for people like you, Mr. Holloway, and others who have made and paved the way for our younger generations, that they've gotten so spoiled they don't know what the fight is all about, but they will learn. My daddy would say in his wisdom, you're going to learn today. If you want to be hard-headed, not listen to your elder, and they've already seen what your eyes have never seen. They don't have to explain it. Just do it. Just do it. If you don't, that's okay. Like my daddy would say, a hard head makes a what? Drop behind. So you can learn today. You don't learn today, you're going to learn tomorrow. You're going to learn. So you know what I do when I end my show. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. And God has been so good to all of us that we need to give him the praise and the glory for his blessings. And if you don't have a church home, you're always invited to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, located at 400 Turner Boulevard. And now we know we have a man of the hour here today, who's a member of Second Baptist Church, Greater Second Baptist.
No, Second Baptist.
Second Baptist
Missionary
Church.
Baptist Church.
Yes, you are always invited.
Pastor Reed is a pastor there.
Pastor Reed, you know where he is, right there next to Kentucky Fried Chicken on 3rd Street. That's a common landmark. Y'all come on out and worship with them too. But do worship somewhere. And if you can't get out to the church, maybe you're homebound or whatever, people will come to your house and pray with you. And you can always go to the internet and watch TV.
That's right.
You know, anywhere in the world.
And you can also get us on WNOO.
Oh, WNOO radio station. They have this fly has been bothering me, y'all. You know I'm gonna get him as soon as I get out there. I'm gonna get him. Okay, he's showing out. He's showing out. You know I'm on the air, but I'm gonna get him. And tune in to your favorite radio station where you can hear the word and be blessed, because God want to hear from you. You know, He loves for us to praise Him, you know, and to give Him thanks. And so I encourage all of you to do that. And of course, be safe. This is a holiday weekend. Monday is Labor Day. I know many of you all are going to be having activities with your family. Some of y'all will be traveling. You know, I wish you safe traveling graces, and be safe. You know, we're going to be at my house having a good time this weekend. My family and all coming over. I heard it was going to be raining and thundering, but we're going to have a good time inside the house. We can't jump out in the pool. We're going to be in the house having a good time. So whatever you do, have fun and be safe. And I'll see you next weekend. Okay? Y'all have a great and blessed weekend.